first time you're seeing me and my channel, please consider subscribing and do leave a like. Means a lot. Thank you. And I might talk a little bit weird because my wisdom tooth is acting up. So it's a little bit swollen over here. We're trying to get through it. I tried to write down everything that I watched. I primarily watched things on either Disney Plus or I watched them on Netflix. It just depends on where the show is. But there are some new ones in here and there's some old ones that I might have mentioned in a previous video, so I'm sorry if I repeat anything, but I'll keep it brief. And I do have some recommendations for you guys of stuff that I watched recently, so let's just get into it. A movie that I watched a while ago, but I don't think I've talked about it, is called Palm Springs, and it's a very weird comedy about, it's kind of like a take on Groundhog Day. So this guy, he's in Brooklyn Nine-Nine, I'm pretty sure, like the main character, the guy, he keeps waking up like in the desert, and it is a day where one person is like getting married and he's there for the wedding, I guess, and then finally he meets somebody that also keeps experiencing the same day over and over again, and then it goes from there. It's quite funny. I think when I watch it again, I don't know, maybe in a couple of years, but it was definitely something. You can't really do much different with Groundhog Day movies, but if you wanna watch one that's set in Palm Springs, you know what to watch. It's kinda good, kinda not. Other movies, I talked about it in the last video, but I did watch Challengers. That was good. I also watched Fall Guy, which was about a stuntman. I'm not sure if I talked about it, but it has Emily Blunt and Ryan Gosling as the main characters, and Ryan is playing this stuntman who falls down this like height, and at the beginning of the movie, and then he kind of like goes on a mission to find this actor who they're like looking for because he's like the main character and he's nowhere to be found, and Emily is now directing this movie that the actor is starring in, so Ryan Gosling's character has to find this actor before the whole production gets shut down because he's into Emily Blunt's character. I don't know, I'm not good at explaining stuff, but it is a really funny movie. I really liked it. I really did enjoy it. It's so fast paced and it just one after the other, like things keep happening, and there's Jason Momoa in it. It is a funny movie. I really enjoyed that. I saw it in the cinemas too. Another thing I saw in the cinemas was called Drive Away Dolls, and this was a very weird experience. And this was like ages ago as well. It was. I think I maybe mentioned it in the video where I talk about like a fun weekend trip or something like that. I don't know, like some sort of story time, and it was just like a fever dream almost. Margaret Qualley is in this movie, which is kind of the reason why I watched it, and it is a road trip movie. I don't even remember it that much. he's in that new Tornado movie. I haven't watched that one yet, but I started watching this show, which Glenn Powell's in. It's called Tracker. It's a concept that I think was copied from another show, which was made from the producers of Bones, and it was the same like premise. Main guy tracks people down and finds them, and I think this show was called like Finder, and this one is called Tracker. So we have Glenn Powell, who is a bounty hunter essentially, who tracks people down and gets the money for finding them, and it's very episodic, very easy to get into, and then there are recurring characters, like people who help him do the research to find the people. But yeah, it's kind of like, you know, Glenn Powell is Glenn Powell. I guess if you like him, if you think he's hot, you might like the show. I thought it was kind of boring. Like, I'm almost done with the season. I don't know if there's any new episodes, but it's kind of like it's been done before. You know, it's another detective type of show, but I was like, nah, it's kind of boring. Another show that I recently watched, and this is a documentary which I'm obsessed with because I love cheerleaders. Okay, I watched Cheer. I think that came out like 3 years ago. Maybe it was a while since Cheer came out, and that was all about cheerleaders in college. I think it was college cheer in Texas, I believe. I don't really know the team, but I think I watched the show twice because I really liked it. It's like the stunts that they do. I think they were like competing for nationals or something, and just following the team was very entertaining, and the drama that they had between people, but it wasn't like drama that's catty in most reality TV. It's still a documentary, like documenting how they train, how the coaching works, the injuries they have there, and some of the characters, I guess, get picked out and focused on. And that is interesting to me. I don't know, they go into their personal reasons why they do it, and they like it. It's just like a really interesting sport to watch. It's so impressive. Like, I wish I could do that, but it's insane, the things that they do. So this new documentary came out, and maybe you know, it's called America's Sweethearts, Dallas Cowboys Cheerleaders. Now, it definitely came out at the right time because everyone's into like cowboy things, like cowboy boots and country music and that whole thing. But I love cheerleading shows. I love cheerleading documentaries. If you know any other ones, do let me know, because I would definitely watch them. But this show is made by the same people that made Cheer. They're both on Netflix, and this focused on Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders and how, you know, the team works from the audition process to getting in the team to, you know, rehearsals and actually performing. And again, some of the characters, I guess, get picked out, and we get to see a little bit of their lives and why they like to cheer, and their personal issues, I guess, stuff like that. Oh my god, I hope that they do another one of these things. I just love these shows, like the editing and the music and the dances, like the performances are insane. And like that split, like drop, what is it, like a bright and positive and like literally a cheerleader, like, yeah. I don't know her surname, I forgot her surname, but Victoria. If you search her up on YouTube, Victoria Dallas Cowboys cheerleader, I'm sure I'll find her channel, but she started making some videos. Very fun. I watched a couple of documentaries, so another one that I watched is Keep Sweet, Pray and Obey, which is again with my Mormon obsession, and I think I rewatched it, or maybe I started it a while ago and then I came back to it from the start, because I didn't really, like, I felt like I remembered some bits and then I felt like I didn't watch it at the same time, I don't know. But Keep Sweet, Pray and Obey is basically about the fundamentalist Mormons, and largely about Warren Jeff, who used to or still is their leader, but behind bars. TLDR, he gets arrested, and basically it just shows the inner workings of the fundamentalist Mormon church, and how people are brainwashed into staying in this cult, and the horrible things that happen there. And if you don't know, Warren Jeff has done unspeakable things, like to children. It's just sick and twisted. So if you're into things like that, I'd say give it a watch. It's very interesting, and you know, it's very disturbing, but it's still like an interesting documentary, I would say. But yeah. And then another one was Dancing for the Devil. This is still like disturbing because there are some talking points in this documentary that concern SA, TV, things like that. But this one is about like a TikTok cult. Essentially, this very famous dancer, I think her name is called Miranda Derrick, if I'm not mistaken. But she's basically a dancer. You might even recognize her from like the description of her appearance. Like, she has short blonde hair like a bob, and she usually dances with either her husband or another partner. It's usually like 2 people dances on TikTok or Instagram, and it's really, really popular. And basically, Miranda is like one of the main characters, like, I'm gonna call them characters, but you know what I mean, like main focus points, I guess, of this documentary, because her family like came forward, I guess, and told them about this, again, cult. I don't really remember like the name, but basically, again, it's about like this church. There's this pastor who also is kind of like a manager to these TikTok famous dancers, and he manages like a whole group of them, and it's way beyond like what you would call normal religion. It's like he tells them if they do like this and that, they will get whatever they want. So the people who are in his agency, who are also in his church, they give him like a large proportion of their income. They do like probably whatever he wants, like allegedly. Anyway, you need to see this Dancing for the Devil documentary to like see what it's about. I mean, you can fast forward some of the things. It's like when the family's like talking like they're concerned, blah blah blah, but like I went to Miranda's account and it looks really weird. Like, she put up statements talking about like her family needs to leave her alone, da 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 da. Like, she has no contact with her family, apparently. to this guy apparently. But yeah, it's really weird, and there's a lot of people that came out with like as a allegations against this pastor, which is really sad to hear about. But yeah, another good documentary, at least interesting. I would say Keep Sweet Barnabas better than Dancing for the Devil, but I think there's more information for the other one. The Dancing for the Devil one is, I think it came out this year, and it's yeah, they need to investigate that further so they can catch the guy. What else? I did watch the new season of The Bear. I did cry in a couple of episodes. I was like, oh. Apparently people don't like the third season. I guess it's the newest season. I hope they renew it. Like, they better not cancel my favorite show. One of my favorite shows. But I think one of my favorite episodes was, oh my god, I'm so bad at like remembering people's names. Napkins, is that an episode name? It's when they gave the backstory of the lady that works in the kitchen. I don't know her name, oh my god. But it was basically giving the backstory of one of the women that work in a kitchen, how she came to work in the original beef of Chicagoland. The beef, and it's very sweet and sad, like it's very bittersweet. And the first episode, like if you watch season 3, like the first episode, oh my god, it like drags on and on and on, and it's like showing the whole backstory of Carmi, I guess. But yeah, I guess this whole season in itself felt like so dragged out, even though there were a lot of scenes that we were used to, with like fast-paced fighting, arguing, people talking over each other, cut, like camera there, here, there, like there was a lot of fast-paced action going on in some of them too. But I feel like overall it was a lot of like one take, a very long monologue, very long scene, talking back and forth. Like for example, the episode where Sugar and her mom are talking when they're at the hospital, and Sugar's like expecting her baby. That felt like ages. I did cry. I feel like it was a powerful scene. Like if you can relate to Sugar, I guess it was a powerful scene. But I can see like if somebody's not used to watching movies or TV shows that take their time, I can see how annoying it can be to like wait for them to like, can you be over with this conversation already? Like I want to see what happens. But I did think that the season was good. Like there are so many unanswered questions, like, and also like why is Carmi treating this girl that he's interested in like in such a shit way? This whole season we're trying to like get him to say sorry, and he just won't. Yeah. What else? Oh yeah, it did end in a cliffhanger, and I was just like, oh my god. Why are you doing this right now? Yeah. What else? The Bear. I watched a brand new show from is a person who has always had to do whatever it takes to make her kids have like the best that they can have, and she has had a very traumatic past. And it's only 2 seasons right now, but I think they're working on the 3rd one. Let's not get a 3rd season curse, please. But basically the whole show, the mom's secrets kind of like start unraveling one by one by one, which is kind of the catalyst to the whole show. Like the whole plot is about Ginny finding out what Georgia, her mother, has done in the past, and Ginny cannot live with the fact with some of the things that her mom has done, which I think is, I don't know, I love her mom and I think she's justified in whatever she does. And I don't know, I think Ginny is being super rude. She is being ungrateful. I think Ginny doesn't see where her mother is coming from, even though, you know, when she's telling her like these pivotal things that happened in her life that traumatized her to no end, which would anybody, Ginny still does not understand. And maybe she is slowly starting to, but still, like, girl, your mom has been through it. You need to be grateful. You know, Georgia needs to understand that there's other ways that things can be done, but also she's a badass. I love them. I love Georgia's accent. I love it so much. Like the little country accent that she has. So cute. And I also love Marcus. I'm in love with Marcus. So I would definitely recommend that show. It is interesting, like tonally, it's very interesting because there's like funny, but also like really dark stuff are happening. There's also like a high school, like half the show is like a high school plot almost, and it is quite realistic, I must say, like how high schoolers interact with each other. Like the way that they drop each other if something goes wrong, and one of them like does the littlest thing to hurt one of them even though they didn't mean to, and then everyone is like dropping them from the friend group. Like the drama from such little things, it's so real. And the way that they're learning to like be friends and like grow up together, and the way they're navigating romance and the problems in their personal lives, I think is done really well. I really like that. But yeah, I find Ginny to be annoying sometimes, but just because I'm like, why are you so traumatized? But yeah, I really like the show. I'm excited to see what they do with it in season 3 because again, so many unanswered questions. I love the ending. When the boy said what he said, like I was like, oh. Another show that I'm watching right now, I'm kind of like catching up on it because I used to watch this years ago, and I think it recently finished, or they made like another spin-off, or like it's not a prequel, I guess, what happens after. I'm talking about The Walking Dead. It's kind of scary. I watched The Walking Dead ages ago, I think when it was coming out, but then I stopped at season 5 because there was a blonde girl that I really liked that died. Spoiler alert, a lot of people die in this show, and when you get attached to these characters, don't, because they all die. I feel like I'm like watching it and I'm like, he's definitely gonna die, she's definitely gonna die, is he gonna make it to dinner? I mean, I'm watching The Walking Dead, like, who am I to say that, but yeah, I am at season 8, so there's 2 more to go. I am honestly like putting it in the background because most of the time it's super slow, and then they'll cram all the action in one episode. Apparently the production budget was going downhill towards the end of the show, so they have a bunch of filler episodes according to a Google review. But it does show, yeah, there's like some episodes where nothing really happens and it's just a waste of time, so I just put it on the background now. I just want to be over with it. I also watched, again, when I'm talking about, like, I mentioned a prequel, I heard that they made like a season, or I don't know, I don't really know what it is, but apparently they made a new thing where it kind of shows what happens to whoever, I guess, makes it out alive at the end of this show. And I'm like, okay, I guess this is the time where I finish this show finally. Now I'm gonna sit and go through the next 5 seasons. But yeah, it's like character after character that I like. Very annoying. And I also watched Fear the Walking Dead, which is a spin-off, one of the many. And I really like Fear the Walking Dead. I don't know, am I the only one? I really like the show, but I think that also finished. But I couldn't see the ending, so don't spoil. Don't leave me a spoiler. But some characters that I saw in Fear the Walking Dead are also in The Walking Dead. And I think Fear the Walking Dead takes place in the timeline of this messed up universe after the main show has ended. Because some of the characters, like, I was like watching it and I'm like, oh my god, I know him. He is in Fear the Walking Dead. What is happening right now? And I guess they must have made it out alive somehow. But yeah, and I really like Fear the Walking Dead because it has Alicia Debnam Carey. I hope nothing happened to her, but you know, with this show, who knows? There was some radioactive stuff going on, I feel like, in that spin-off, and Amazon Prime does this very annoying thing where you can watch all 5 seasons, and then on the last one, for example, if it's the 6th, it's gonna make it paid. Like, you really want my money that bad? Like, I'm already paying a subscription. So I've never actually gotten around to watching it and finishing it because it's paid. Like, you have to buy every single episode. Maybe I'll just buy a box set and I'll just own it. But I don't have a DVD player. First world problems. But I'm pretty sure that it has 2 more spin-offs with, like, I saw maybe on the thumbnails, like, younger characters. But I don't know. Yeah. I've never read the comics either. I'm not very interested in that. But because I get, like, super upset about these fictional characters, whenever something happens to them, I googled if something will happen to the ones that I care about. And now I'm like, okay, I know what happens to you. Or if anything happens to you, I'm ready. It's kind of taking the load off. I shouldn't get attached to these fictional people, but yeah, you spend so much time on them on the screen. And I also wanted to because it's so funny. It is a movie on Disney Plus again. I think it's from like Starlight Productions or something. But yeah, Theater Camp. Definitely watch that. It's so good. And the Carmi's girlfriend, who is in The Bear, stars in this film. So you're not gonna be sorry you saw it, because it's really funny. It's very clever. A feel good one. Yeah, I think that's about all I watched. I finished watching The Office as well, and I cried. I cried. I sobbed. I need a breather before I will do my rewatch. I'll definitely do a rewatch multiple times. I can see that happening like over the course of my life. But if you've never seen The Office, I don't know, you need to see it because it's so good. I've never watched Friends, but I can imagine that's what Friends feel like. Like the characters, you just get to know them, and it's like amazing. And I saw a Brat edit made for the temp Ryan. Somebody made a Brat edit for him on TikTok, and it is the funniest thing ever. It's the funniest thing ever. But yeah, at the end of the show, I think Pam was giving a speech, and I was just, I was bawling. It's really, really good. Yeah. But I'm full of positive vibes today, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video and it brought some sunshine to your day, even though it's like going down. I hope it was relaxing,